Hi, I'm Ben.
And I'm Ernie.
And I'm Veronica.
And this is Budget Nerds.
It was all in your mind.
You are not alone.
No, you are not. All right. Well, we have Veronica here today, who is one of the team members here at YNAB, and she's awesome. So many. You've had a lot of jobs here at Veronica. You're kind of like me. You've kind of done a little bit of everything.
I really
tell
have.
us what you're doing nowadays.
Yeah, I really have. Ben and I have worked together for a really long time, just kind of like back and forth on a whole lot of things. But right now, I am managing our corporate program, so our financial wellness by one. I know.
Corporate. You're using the word corporate.
I know.
Fancy.
Oh, so fancy. Yeah, so we work with organizations to bring YNAB into businesses so that employees can better their financial lives and just their overall lives. And that's what I end up working on.
So it's like YNAB as a benefit.
Exactly.
So what you should be hearing, everybody listening, that if you can convince your employer to pay for YNAB, you can have it for free, and all your coworkers could have it, and you might actually be able to convince them to use it because.
Well, then you'll have someone to talk to about YNAB at work.
Talking about it all the time, and it'll basically just be a Budget Nerds episode every day at work.
Exactly.
So,
and
yeah,
we're going to get more into the wellness program, and I think you even have some.
I do.
Some merch to give away?
I have some goodies. I do. I've got connections. I came with bribes. Yeah, I'd love to talk to your workplace. And we'll get into that a little bit later.
All right. But we want to hear about your story a little bit and your categories. And just dig in.
Nerd out with us for a little bit here.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Well, you got
an
interesting
honored
situation, I think, because your husband's self-employed. You were self-employed for a long time before YNAB.
That's how I started YNAB. Yeah, I started YNAB from a place of really like not knowing when we were going to get our next paycheck. We were both self-employed. We owned a business together, and we kind of lived this life of like, oh, someone paid us, so we have money, to like, oh, it's been a while since someone's paid us. Things are dwindling. And my parents had lived like that, in that, like, we called it feast or famine, right? It's like you either have so much money and you're like, and you kind of go through this, like, do I spend it all because this opportunity is not here? Or do I try really hard to hold on to it in case it takes a while for the next paycheck to come? And we went through that for several years before we were just like, we have to do something different. This isn't going to work. So we started YNAB.
Well, how did you find YNAB?
Oh, I just searched the internet for like budgeting software that was good for like self-employed or like variable income.
Yeah.
And I came across YNAB. It was YNAB 4. So we're talking like, I think it was probably 12 years ago that we started using YNAB. And it kind of changed everything. Like we could get to the next month and be okay. We could see that we needed to separate things out right away and not spend it all. And like our lives started to stabilize. Like everything started to feel okay again, even in the months that we knew we weren't going to bring anything in.
Yeah, because that decision of, okay, we just got paid. Should we celebrate and go wild, or should we, save this when you don't know when you're going to get paid? Because I'm sure you invoice people, but who knows?
You invoice people, or like for us, it was wedding photography, and so like there's a season of that, and so like there's this season where you don't have any of that.
It's just not a thing.
It's just not a thing, and so it was really difficult to even that out until we found YNAB.
When you're making those decisions just like on vibes, like, it's probably
you're making it based on your bank account balance.
Yeah. And then you don't like have that framework to decide.
I'm curious, was there a certain rule that you're like, oh my goodness, this is a game changer for us?
I think it was probably true expenses, but even more than that, and even to this day, like my life changed when I got a month ahead. It just changed. Everything feels more stable. Everything is easier to do. Everything feels more possible. And risks don't feel risky.
Ooh, right. Yeah, because you're still, I mean, so you have a
I have a
fancy
job.
corporate
Yeah.
job. I mean, you do.
So fancy, so corporate. Yeah.
But your husband Drew is still gallivanting around all around the country doing stuff
Yeah.
and doing his own business. So you still have variable income,
We
right?
do, yeah. So we run two budgets essentially, one for our family and then also one for his business. And so we're still living that like, a check came in, but it's less so now because now we're just like, okay, well, we know how much of that check needs to go into a paycheck category and then that paycheck pays us, which feels just so much more sustainable than we were before.
Nice.
Yeah.
But was there like a moment, like what caused you to start Googling, like, or was it just like a slow build up to where you're like, I'm stressed out, I need to find something?
Yeah, it really felt like, I mean, we had 3 kids, we were like, we were running a business. We were running the same business. And so like, there wasn't a stability aspect that we have now, which is like, my income is the backup income right now. It's fine. But back then it was like, if there's nothing, there's nothing. But there's also these 3 tiny children and all these things we want to do with them. We want to experience with them, or like, we need to send them to school. We need to have a babysitter when we go to a wedding. We need to like all these things that just kept piling up. And it just didn't feel sustainable.
Yeah, that's interesting because you had another layer of instability with your finances because, I mean, it's one thing for like one couple to have 2 variable incomes. Like that's crazy enough. But you really had one variable income that you were both working on.
Right.
So you're kind of working on one income and that income is wild and crazy, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Because, you can't say like, oh, well, my business is getting paid at this time and yours is it's just like, this is together. And what it becomes is this unsustainable business situation where you're like, I have to take everything that comes in because what if there's nothing left? Like the scarcity that you feel in that is really scary. And it just felt like we were never going to be able to go on a trip. We were never going to be able to plan something because what if a wedding comes in that we have to take? What if a job comes in that we have to take? For that time. It was just like, this isn't the life we want to live. Like, I want to be able to say no. Yeah.
Yeah. And so when you started YNAB, were you able to start turning jobs down eventually?
Yeah, eventually we were. We were able to be like, okay, we could only do one wedding a weekend, which
wait.
Let me tell you.
Wait, slow down. What? You were doing more than one? I guess I've got like one on Sunday, one on Saturday, that kind of vibe.
I mean, we would have like one on Thursday, one on Friday, one on Saturday.
Gosh.
Once we did one on a Monday, but it was because it was a leap year.
I would just be disoriented all the time.
Well, and then and then like like we had 3. Our kids were probably, when I started working at YNAB, my kids were 5, 6, 7. So at the time when I started YNAB, they were probably 2, 3, 4. And
it's too much.
That's so much.
It's too much.
And we were young. Don't get me wrong. We had energy that we do not have now. But
true, but still,
it's a lot. It's a lot of physical work.
Yeah, that's true too. It's like physically exhausting. So you were wedding photographers, right?
Yeah. So it would be like an 8 to 10 hour day on your feet. Yeah.
And did things instantly start feeling different with YNAB, or did it take a little bit to get up and running?
No, it was instant. I think we started one January, as you do. And we were still doing weddings at the time. So it wasn't, it was still our wedding season. So we were still making a bunch of money. And so we had the ability, we knew going into it that we wanted to be able to survive the non-busy season without worrying about it. And we did. I think we went on vacation that summer. I think we actually did. Yeah.
What is the non-busy season? Because I would think it was January.
Okay, you would think that, but we were living in Arizona. And so the non-busy season in Arizona is the summer because it's
like the opposite.
So hot. Yeah. It's so hot there. You can't be that mean to your grandma and make her stand outside.
That's so interesting. Yeah. It's like everything's backwards.
Arizona's backwards. That's fine.
It's like you're living in Australia or something.
Yeah.
That's wild. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into your categories.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. I love this.
Off the top of your head, do you know how many categories you have?
No, I don't.
That's okay.
I don't. And I will say, Ben, I was just watching your video, I was just watching your video about you changing your budget and how big that was for you. But I feel like I change mine every 3 months. Like,
Okay. So like what I do.
Often. Yeah. I
feel like that's more normal. I'm the weird one who's like,
this is how it is.
I mean, what kind of changes? Are you just like, oh, I want a new emoji, or I don't need this category? I mean, how important are these changes?
I think I go back and forth between like, I want to be narrowed in on things individually because I care about how much we're spending on them versus I don't care. Let's just make it simple. Like I've had moments where we've had like 6 categories total because I'm just like, it's food. Like
right.
food is
combined,
food.
Like everything.
Like, do I need a category for coffee? Do I need a category for dining out and groceries? And like, it's food. How much are we spending to eat?
Okay.
I feel like I've gone really far back and forth between some of those things. But the thing I always keep is the true expenses because especially like vacations and being prepared for things, that is core to me. I care about that.
Nice. Well, this is great because I feel like we have people on to talk about categories, but they're always kind of the same, where it's like super particular. Because we put out there like, let's hear your categories, and people are like, oh, I have 75 categories. Let's go through them. So I want to see like a simpler setup. Is that where you're at now though? Or are you more complex?
I think I'm at a pretty simple setup. So
okay, nice. Let's do it.
It feels simple. So I have my buffer. Am I allowed to say that word here? I have my buffer.
Do it. Yeah.
It's old school, but it works.
I am
want to
old
have 4
school.
people represent. Man.
I have my buffer. It means a lot to me.
So people know what we're talking about. That's what we used to call back in the YNAB 4 days, the fund to get a month ahead. And I kind of miss it because I feel like we need a word, but
well, there's no rules, Ben. No one's checking. You can have one.
I can say whatever I want. Yeah. So you got your buffer.
I have my
buffer.
buffer.
So you're a stick all the money into a buffer category and then release it
as much as possible. Yeah, except for like debt. We have some debt we're paying off right now, and so I'll just separate out what I want to pay on the debt, and then everything else goes to the buffer for now.
Nice.
Yeah. And so that buffer sits at the top. It's just like, you care about this. Don't lose it.
Don't just like use it so you don't want to go back from being a month ahead and then no longer a month ahead.
Yeah. I think that's the security for me, is just that sitting right at the top. You care about this. Pay attention.
Nice. Pay attention. It's right there.
Pay attention. Yep. Then we have our like home categories. So currently renting. So we have our rent, lawn care, which I could complain about forever because we debated on this one forever and ever. How do you decide if you're going to buy all the equipment to mow your own lawn? Oh gosh, Ernie, this is your question. How do you decide if you're going to buy all the equipment and mow the lawn and take the time and do the things, or if you're going to pay someone to come and do it?
Do you want that time back?
Well, let me caveat with, we're on 10 acres.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize you. Oh, wow. That's awesome.
And so we moved
so you
in
need
here.
Like a tractor.
Correct. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And my husband was like, let's get a tractor. And
I
was
mean,
just like, that's
like
cool,
fun.
but you travel half the month. So
you're like, so I'm riding the tractor.
I'm on the tractor.
Right.
So this year we ended up paying for someone to come and do it. And every month I'm like, I don't
it feels like too
love
much
paying for it. But
then you would get the tractor and you would be sitting on the tractor while Drew's gone and be like, I don't love riding this tractor.
And
maybe
then
the lesson here is I didn't need all that grass.
The maintenance of the tractor.
True.
The upkeep. I mean, that's huge. That thing breaks down. You got to bring that into town. That's a big expense.
Yeah. Transporting it or having someone come out and look at it. It just felt like insurmountable.
Yeah, seriously, in that case, I mean, I love mowing grass. I would hire someone.
Well, and I
That's
too.
a ton
We were
of
on
time.
a smaller yard like 2 years ago, and we were mowing it ourselves, and it was the best time ever. Like, AirPods in, get a good podcast going.
Little workout.
It's perfect.
Yep.
Yeah. But this just felt like too much.
Well, this isn't a lawn episode, but this is, I love this topic. So I'm going to keep going here just for a little bit more. Make it a smaller yard.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to mow all of it. I mean, like I gave up on half my yard because it's like all on a hill and it's like impossible.
We do like the back section. I feel like we could just let it go. We could also alternatively let our neighbors let their cows and horses graze in there, and then just be like, okay, they'll mow the lawn with their snacks, and we could just do the front. So that's something we might consider next year.
All right, we're losing people.
All right, I'm so
sorry. This is what happens when you talk about categories. You get into your life.
It is. It's like it is. It's a picture of your life, right?
Yes.
Okay, so then I have utilities. We do not have a car payment, so under auto, I have gas and car insurance. Then we have basics: groceries, clothing, personal care, which is like all of our, hair, toothpaste, whatever, home supplies. And then we have a kids section. So I have school, which always costs more than I think it's going to cost. Like all the extra little things they do. We have swim team. I have a daughter that is on the high school swim team. And then art classes, which my youngest does. And then
I always feel like your kids do such interesting activities.
They all, My youngest is doing art class and pottery class twice a week.
Cool.
Nice.
It's so cool. Yeah, they'll just bring home a whole bunch of things. It's great.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Then we have medical, and for me, medical is like core. This is one of those things that, like, because of YNAB, I am a healthier person. Like, I've been able to take care of mine and my family's physical health more than I was able to before. So we have prescriptions, co-pays, dental and ortho, because 3 teenagers in braces.
Oh my God. I feel you.
It's painful. Oh. It hurts. It hurts so much. But I'm down to, I'm down to 2 kids in braces, but only paying for 1.
Okay.
So life is getting
so you paid
good.
off the braces before they took it off.
Yeah.
For some of them.
Life is improving. Yeah.
And then you get them off. You think it's done, but they break their retainers. Done. They lose them.
They do.
We got to the point where, like, you're responsible for your own retainers.
I like that.
And actually, one of my boys just paid $200 to replace 2 retainers.
We do that with phones. I'm like, I'll buy the first one.
Yep.
And after that, that's all you. I can't help you anymore.
Can only do so much.
Get a job.
The whole thing, man. The whole thing.
Optometrist, dermatology, and then hearing aids. My oldest daughter has hearing aids, and they are considerably more expensive than you would think, and they have to be replaced every few years. So that is a major true expense category for us.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay.
So important.
She can hear. Yeah,
yeah,
it's good. It's such a good technology, and it's so needed. But
yeah, I was actually just talking to somebody about this because my grandpa, who passed away just about a year ago, his hearing was really bad, and he had hearing aids, but they were real cheap. And like, he just like refused to spend money on good hearing aids. And we're like, Grandma, we can't talk to you. Like, what's more important in the world? We're always trying to get him to spend more money on hearing aids, but
just please.
So, yeah, it's annoying, but like your daughter can hear. So it's like,
I didn't even know that they have hearing aids that you can just kind of like reading glasses. You can just go and get kind of generic ones.
Oh, interesting. Yeah,
you can if you're a kid. She is a kid, so she has to go and get like
special
the
ones.
big thing. Yeah. But
yeah.
I thought that was really cool. I didn't know anything about hearing aids until like 9 months ago. So
now you know everything.
Now I know way too much. Yeah. Okay, let's get into the fun stuff. So we have a fun savings section, category group. We have holidays, which is not Christmas. Holidays is like all the other things that I want to spend money on. So like Halloween fits in there, Thanksgiving, I pay for the turkey out of there. And then like Easter, and then I'll have like I don't know why. This is kind of like when you go to the grocery store and you buy a thing of sushi and you're like, this is groceries. But like, I have this holiday category and I use it to fill this jar in my kitchen full of like themed candy. So like right now it's full of Halloween candy and that comes from the holiday. Right. But like Easter, it's full of like the like Cadbury mini eggs and like that's holiday.
Well, it puts you in the season, right?
Yeah, it just feels right. Yeah.
Legit.
So we're kind of hiding things in there. It's fine. Gifts, and then our anniversary category. We just kind of do like a little celebration. We do a little celebration every year, and then every 5 years we renew our vows. So every 5 years we do. Yeah,
that's incredible.
Cool.
Yeah. So this year is year 17. So we won't go out of our way. We'll do like a nice dinner or something. But year 20. We'll do something really big, and we'll go renew our vows.
Good for 20?
I think it's going to be all right. I think we'll be okay.
Is it like to death do us part, or is it like for the next 5 years?
For the next 5 years.
Love it.
Yeah. Okay. Home decor is like furniture and things, and sometimes I spend nothing in this category. And this month I spent a lot because we just out of nowhere decided we needed some furniture. So. That's a fun one because I feel like I can almost never guess what we're going to spend in there and what we should put in. Birthdays is a fun one. For birthdays, it's just for the 5 of us, me, my husband, my 3 kids. Our birthdays are spaced out like really nicely throughout the year.
Nice.
It works out. I know it works out beautifully.
Yeah, ours are not like that at all.
And so we just put like $80 in there a month. And by the time it gets to your birthday, you have like $250. So
nice.
My daughter's Sweet 16 is on Friday.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. And I'm getting her a little custom cake and we're going to go do something together. And she wanted Thai food, smart girl. And that'll be just a nice thing. We don't really do like birthday parties. We do birthday experiences. And for everyone's 13th birthday, we did like the big trip. We do a big trip on a 13th birthday. Okay. Yeah.
I remember this throughout the years, all the 13 trips. Oh,
you've seen all of them. Yeah, you guys have been there for them all. Yeah.
Yeah. I've thought about it. I'm like, that's a really nice thing because I don't have any 13-year-olds yet, but
it's coming.
I feel like that's a good age to do something.
13 is the age where you're like, everything's about to change and I'm still on your side. Please continue to love me. And that's the motive there.
Yeah. Because some people are like, oh, do it at 10 years old, which I think is great too. But it's like, I feel like 13 is better because of what you said. Yeah. It's like something.
I feel like every time one of my kids turned 13, I went to the doctor and was like, what happened to this child?
Why is she so
What's going on? So it just felt like the right age. Yeah.
I'm like seeing signs of that with my oldest.
It's coming.
I was teasing her yesterday at dinner. I'm like, you're acting like a teenager. And she's like, stop it, Dad. But she was like making fun of like each person at the table. And I'm like, why are you being so mean? Like, stop it.
Okay, what else do I have? I have, then we have like a couple of wish farm type categories. So my husband is saving for carbon bike wheels. He's very excited about that. Yeah, he just keeps like upgrading the bike. That's what he's always into. Nice. Even though it's currently pouring rain and is usually pouring rain where we are, but that's okay. And then travel has its own group. Usually we go on a cruise a year, sometimes more. And then I'll make a category for each trip we're going on. Okay. If we know that it's happening. So nice. We're going on a cruise in less than 2 weeks. And so I have like cruise fees, cruise extras, but then I also have like the summer trip we're taking next year already structured out, ready to go.
And then when you're done with the trip, do you just delete the categories?
I just hide it.
Okay. So you have like a whole
I have like a little cemetery of my trips. Yeah.
I was thinking like a celebratory thing, but we could call it a cemetery. That works too.
Fair, that's fair. Yeah, except for the ones that I know will go on again because I like to keep the averages. So like I know we'll go on another cruise. I'll keep the cruise category. That's not like cruise for this year. It's just like ongoing. It's just a thing we do. We really want one trip every year where our kids are like, this is what we do. This is what we do as a family. This is who we are. And as they grow up, the goal is like bring your significant other one day, bring your family, like let's all go do this thing that we've just always done. So it felt like the cruise makes the most sense for that. So we'll just keep that. That just forever stays. Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, y'all do a lot of traveling, and
we do.
I think it's great. Like, I feel like you guys are very focused on experiences, and that's where your money flows, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is. And then I go and I look and I'm like, why do we not do normal things? But we don't, and it's fine because we do travel. Like we travel a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Then I have future funds. So this is like Christmas, car maintenance. I have an emergency fund. I also have a car matching category. So we told our kids that we would match whatever they saved for a car when they're ready to buy a car.
Did you put a limit on it, or is it just like whatever?
No, but I know that our oldest will save the most, and like our youngest will probably be able to afford a Hot Wheels, and that's fine.
Right.
That's fine.
I guess you can kind of keep an eye on what they're saving and be like, okay, let's put some money in there.
And I said, like, you might need to give me 6 months. Like, if you get a lot of money and you're suddenly like, okay, I'm ready, like, I might need a couple months to catch up with you. But we keep an eye on it. We watch it.
I mean, you're not going to, like, buy them a Lamborghini if they save, like, $500,000 or something somehow.
No.
Not that, obviously, that's not going to happen, but that's an exaggeration. But
no. And it feels like they all have a sense of, like, the kind of car they want, and they know it has to be used, and they know, like, all these things. So I think we'll be okay. But, yeah.
That's wise of you. I mismanaged the teenage years. I didn't realize how expensive, how expensive they were going to be once I hit 16. It's crazy.
It's crazy. I know. It's so Ben.
Stare into the distance. I know. I feel like this is like half of this show is me just like not understanding or appreciating how my life is going to change.
But you've set yourself up so well. You have like so much more cash flow without the mortgage, right?
Yeah, theoretically.
And without daycare.
Yeah, now. Yeah, that's true. I won't have daycare, but I'll have braces and
you
cars
will have braces,
yeah. College.
Yeah.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
It's fine. It's all fine.
Man.
Okay, then we go into home fun. So we have Jarvis and Bucky, which are our 2 dogs. And
Adorable.
Then I have a category called farm life because I think we moved into this large property and we were like, are we farmers? I think we're farmers.
I think you're farmers now.
Feels like we're farmers. So we have chickens. We pay for chicken food, and we have way too many chickens and way too many eggs as a result because we're not very good farmers. So we don't know what to do with ourselves. And then we have a little garden. So that's what farm life is.
You need to make your way to Jesse's podcast. You can figure out exactly. He'll tell you what to do.
He will.
With the chickens.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
With the chickens, with the garden. I know. I have I think I've gotten maybe 12 tomatoes and a single, I think it was a melon, but we thought it was a cucumber because we weren't very organized.
Like, this cucumber's getting huge.
Like, this is a really weirdly shaped cucumber. And then we cut it and we ate it. And we were like, this is a really weird cucumber. So we're not great at farm life.
Okay. But you're trying.
We're trying really hard.
If you can grow a melon in Texas, or no, you're not in Texas.
I'm not in Texas anymore.
That's the other thing about Veronica. She moves a lot. So I'm like trying to, that's right.
I've
You're
moved
in Kentucky
a lot.
now, so it's a little easier to grow things.
It's so much easier. It rains all the time. I don't even have to worry about it. In Arizona, it felt like work. Like if you grow something in Arizona, you're like, look at me go.
Forget about it.
I watered stuff and remembered. Now here it's like cheating. Yeah.
Right. Well, I was like that too because I grew up in Texas, and I thought like gardening was you got some flowers at the hardware store and put them in the ground and looked at them for 2 weeks and then they died. But here it's like in Virginia, it's like it turns and it takes over.
Yes.
It flourishes, and I'm like, oh, that's possible.
That's new. Yeah. This is new.
Yeah.
Yeah. We lucked out on this property because we ended up with peach trees and pear trees and apple trees. And so it was awesome. We just had to figure out what to do with them once they were all ready at the same time. It's like when your avocados are all ready at the same time and you're like, well, I guess I'm making guac.
Guac it up.
Yeah. It's like, what do I do with 900 peaches at one time? I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. Make some cobbler.
Yeah, cobbler. Like figure out how to can things, I guess.
Can it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's
Now I
canning
need
is
a
scary.
category for canning. Well,
Canning frightens me.
Me too. I'm scared of it.
Botulism. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways. Yeah. What else you got?
Okay, I have very few left. So I have a health section with like gym membership, vitamins, things like that. And then what we call experiences, which is really more like time. It feels like what it should be called is time together, which is dining out, coffee shop, and then entertainment. We'll do like movie things.
Okay.
Yeah. Or, sometimes I think I flex categories in that sometimes they're just like small, random, and sometimes I use them as true expense categories because like experiences pays for just us to go to a movie. And sometimes it pays for us to go to like a Taylor Swift concert. So
yeah,
it flexes,
Makes sense.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, super cool. So you're not that you're not that broad.
I'm not. Currently not
40?
that broad. Could change my mind at any second, but not currently very broad.
But you also have some categories that are pretty big catch-all, like the holidays, for example, where it's just like, we're just going to put some money in there.
Personal
and
care
use it.
feels like that to me too. And
with those broad categories, like how do you figure out how much to put in there? Is it just like vibes, and you just kind of know how much you need because you've been doing it so long?
Yeah, usually. So I'll keep one budget for 2 years, and so when I make changes, I'll move all the past transactions into that category. So I still get a sense of like average.
Yeah.
In the auto assign buttons. So
okay, so you got all the data from before you can kind of use to guide you.
Yeah.
Nice.
But it's just like a matter of what do I want to separate out and what don't I? So right now it's like all the health stuff is really separated. Like vitamins is separate from dermatology and like the dermatology thing is a copay. It's not, but like I care about it.
Yeah.
And I know that I want to be prepped for it. And like those things feel important to me right now. It's like a snapshot of where I'm at right now, where my household is functioning at the moment.
Yeah. So like when your priorities change, you just your categories get more specific on that thing.
Exactly.
And then later on you'll wrap it up. And
yeah.
Sounds like fun. Maybe I should try changing my
just change it up.
Maybe in a couple of years, Ben. Let's make the transition to wellness here.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm hearing a lot through your categories is that it's more than the money. And we talk about this all the time at YNAB.
Yeah.
Right? Like instantly I think about your health categories and how it just allows you to make sure your family is physically healthy. So let's talk about that. Then we can get into some of those giveaways because I know everyone's waiting on that. They want free merch, right?
I totally understand. I want free merch. Yeah, I think when I look at the things that YNAB gives me beyond money, it's health. It's things like growing up, I didn't have the chance to like go to the dentist unless it was an emergency, right? Like I just have this core memory of my parents scraping together money so I could get my wisdom teeth taken out because that I was in pain, right? Like it had to happen. And now I look at it like I have the ability to take care, like to set my kids up in a different way and to even like fix things for myself in that way, health-wise, and even like stability-wise. So money is a part of it, but it becomes so much more than that. And that's kind of what we've noticed, like you said, Ernie, talking at YNAB is our coworkers are generally like healthy, whole, like their well-being is set up. And a big part of that is because we all use YNAB.
Right.
Right. And so when we set up our wellness program, it was really with that in mind. It was really like you can have a whole workplace full of people that are healthy in a whole person kind of way, mentally, physically, financially. And that comes from things like setting yourself up with money to manage money well. Your decisions become so much easier when things are stable financially. You can start to take care of other parts of your life. And we hear stories about this all the time. We have a video, we should link it. We have a video that's Simone, who was just like,
Oh, yeah.
I realized that I stopped smoking because I used YNAB, because I could see what that was taking from me, both in my health, but also the things that I had to remove. I couldn't go to the movies. I couldn't do all these things because I wanted to smoke. And it was like, actually, I don't really care about that. Let's make a change. And like, we hear stories about things like that all the time where it's more than money. So I was reading, we asked the community for some examples of ways that YNAB has helped you beyond finances. And we heard things like, it helped me cut out junk food and alcohol use because I'm less stressed.
Wow.
Once we got a month ahead, my husband came to me and said, "You have no idea how much stress that's taken off my shoulders." And she said, "I had no idea he had that stress." It was just
Wow.
like these little things. A lot of people mentioned improved relationships. And one person even mentioned that they were able to have a baby because of YNAB, because they had the insight and clarity into whether they could afford another child. And
Yeah, to be able to plan.
yeah, it's like those are core parts of you as a person. And they start with being able to care for your money.
Wow. Yeah. So that's what we're offering, not just the software and education, but
Yeah,
really
it's more
more.
than that. Yeah, so we connect with businesses and we want to help offer that to kind of all of their employees so that they have the ability to support them as whole people. And so, yeah, that's kind of what I have today. I have goodies for the Budget Nerds community. I connected with Janelle, who is the person for all the merch.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
and yeah,
Yeah. She's the one to butter up
she's
if you
the
want.
one, yeah.
If you want
And I
stuff.
said, "Can I give merch to the Budget Nerds?" Yeah, and so we thought we'd set you all up in the best way possible, which is this. We have a page on our site that says, "Share YNAB with your employer," like essentially bring YNAB to work. And what we're asking is if you could go and connect with your HR person, or if it's a small business, the owner of the business, and tell them about YNAB. Tell them what a difference it's made in your life, both financially, yes, but also just like, do you have a story of it making your well-being be more secure, thinking about your future more, things like that. Like, give them a way to connect with us, tell them about us, and then we'll have a form for you to fill out. It'll be in the show notes.
Yep.
And you can fill that out and tell us about it. So tell us about you. We want your mailing address so we can send you things. These are things you want, I promise.
Cool stuff. Like shirts and mugs.
Shirts and mugs and notebooks.
I don't want to say there are things that are being developed, I think, that I don't know if I can say or not, because I don't want Janelle to get mad at me. But
Yeah,
there's
don't
some
let
cool
Janelle get
stuff.
mad at you. Yeah,
There's some cool stuff.
We'll send you a little gift basket. And so we'll send you items, but we'll also ask for your company's information in there. It'll ask for who your company is and the best person to contact. And then we'll get in touch with them and we'll try to connect our team to your team and see if we can't get everybody on YNAB at work.
I love this so much, Veronica, because I think most people are not like us. They don't go out and search budgeting apps, right? Like, we're the nerds, and of course we do stuff like that. So being able and being able to frame it in a way, because that's not compelling, right? Like, hey, you need a budgeting app, right? Like, okay, cool, I heard that before. But like, hey, your overall well-being can significantly benefit from this app that just, helps you be mindful and intentional with your money. I love that.
Yeah. And that share page, which we'll link to, has like literal copy paste templates that you can use.
It's so easy.
Yeah. So if you're like, I don't know how to pitch this to my HR person, just copy her thing, that we have on that page and paste it into an email.
Just send it over.
Or message or whatever. Send it over. We done all the work for you. Make it easy.
Yeah.
So,
yep. And then just let us know you did it, and we'll send you some things.
We'll send you some
stuff.
I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah, and let us know in the comments if you did it too. And if you're excited about all your coworkers using YNAB because they get it for free. And how cool would that be? That'd be awesome.
And you would too.
Yeah, that too. You too.
I mean,
yeah. that helps too. Right? That's a big deal. So awesome.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Veronica, for coming on the show. I mean, first off, for telling your YNAB story and sharing your categories.
Yeah,
it was fun just
so
nerding out a little bit, but also appreciate the pitch for wellness and getting folks involved in that.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, we will see you all again in 2 weeks. Till then, happy YNABing.
Happy YNABing. See you, friends.